Welcome back, guys. In today's episode, we make some really good progress on the Volvo drift car, and later on we reveal what the deadline is because we've been invited to one of the most prestigious car shows in the world. It's absolutely fine. Who started a chainsaw when we're trying to film? Axel tries to do something to speed things up, and then we have to do it again. Drift car. Then we put another pack in here. Back to the drawing board, and let's do it all again. Bad measuring. Measure once, cut twice. Those jobs that seem so easy. It's lovely, that.
And I'ma do it again. Watch me. Then watch me do it again. Tell 'em I can't take no
Right, welcome back, guys. We have been busy again since the last video. At the last video, you saw us make the rear end on this. Obviously, whilst we're filming it, we did it pretty quickly. There were still some bits still left to sort. So me and Ben were in here over the weekend. We've made some nice brackets that align this part. So now this flimsy thing is now actually quite solid. So by the time we've added the windows and added the lower section here with the bumper bars, it should be pretty sturdy. What we've done as well, we've put these nice little poppers on the top. So once it's done, we'll be able to just take that off if you need to work on the radiator or anything else in the back, like the fuel system. And then literally you can just pop that back on, just like that. So we got that idea from Kevin, thanks for that one. We're gonna put them at the bottom as well. So nice and easy. But today, we're working on the inside of the car. So it's one of the final things we wanted to get done before the engine arrives, is get a nice seating position. So that's something that's really important. Obviously, that when you're driving it, you've got to be comfortable. So we've mounted the seat already. And now today's job is getting the steering column fitted and the pedal box. We might get around to doing the handbrake, but probably not, because we believe from mocking the gearbox up, we're gonna have to lift the tunnels. So we don't really have anything to mount that to. So right now, what we've done is we've got the bearing in position at the bottom of the shaft. We're making a mount for the top of the shaft, and then from there on, we can then get the pedal box mounted. We've got Harry here. He's in charge of cutting up all the parts. We've got a bit of a conveyor belt system going. Rob is on the welder, on his welding table. Very sturdy Volvo. And I am trying to find all the parts that I've ordered and lost upstairs in order to get this thing going. So yeah, check it out.
Get it in. I have moved it around, so it might not be central.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about 5 mil high, but
Yeah.
5 mil between friends. She's brand new, isn't she?
So the only thing we need to do is,
Probably want to straighten up.
yeah, so you can get, it'd be nice if you can get a socket on it, it would be easier.
You get a socket on that.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Height is good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'd say so. And then I'll be able to move it, the seat further forward, I'll put a spacer to get it closer.
Is it worth me just tapping it and then cutting them off?
Yeah. Cutting it, what do you mean?
Like that,
Yeah.
to there, and then just cutting it and shaping it so it'll work.
What are you going to do about the gap? Fill that or?
I'll tell you what, this helmet. Would you say it's still pretty flat?
Like that. Like that. I'll close my eyes. Yeah, that's fine, yeah. Oh, that's fucking proper race car now.
Do they look
Yeah, that looks really, that
the
looks,
same?
give or take, you've probably got a little bit wider angle on that one. You bend that one
Or you want to go out?
outwards on that one, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty good, I think. So I'll hold it like that, because that's actually made it more level. Not that you'll ever see that behind the dash, but it's important. You know deep inside that it's wrong.
To me.
It's like I'm in the sunbed here. Back knee?
Got spots on your back. Why is that?
Back knee? What is it?
Back knee.
Back knee, is that what
Everyone will know this.
if you've suffered from back knee?
That's my excuse. It's like sunbeds. He does wear glasses.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Can't see.
Absolutely, it's absolutely fine. So what we're up to right now is trying to get the steering column nice and centre in line with the seat. We've got some up and down play and we can slide it forward and backwards on the shaft. So yeah, just trying to get it nice and straight. We've added a new firewall bearing to the firewall as we've gone from right-hand drive to left-hand drive. And yeah, that's pretty cool. We're starting to feel like a race car now. Check 1, 2. Is it plugged in? I can see
I'm a bit flustered today.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a rush.
It's all right, when I... Right, here we go. So, for the Volvo, we're using this steering column here from Sweet Manufacturing. It's a company in America. It's a very solid bit of kit. This is a lightweight option. You'd normally find this in things like their dirt track race cars over in America, drag racing, anything really that you want to use your own steering column. The cool thing about this is it's retractable, so you have a bit of adjustment when you're fitting it, but it also means if you have an impact and the front of the car gets crushed, then hopefully that'll stop the steering wheel flying up and pinning you against the seat or killing you, I guess, is the worst case.
Yeah.
Then to fit it, essentially you have a bearing that goes down here, which goes on the firewall, which we've fitted. Then you have this rose jointed adjustment piece with pinch clamp, so you can slide that backwards and forwards. It gives you up and down motion as well, so you can adjust afterwards. And on this end, it's a splined fitting with a quick release, which goes just like that. And then you can put your steering wheel on there. Doing the old alignment to get it straight.
Yeah, well, that's the issue there, isn't it? Well, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I'd say send her on. Depends which eye I close, really.
We'll just tack it, shall we? Ready?
Yeah.
Oh, mate,
You done it again?
this helmet.
It's like, what do you measure off to get it straight?
I would
measure
just say
that
whatever
with,
feels straight.
I think that feels really good.
It does feel good.
Yeah, yeah. And I can come forward or backwards, and I think that'd be pretty good.
Tack that a bit better.
Mate, send that on.
The whole way.
Wow. I mean, let's just tack it.
So peaceful then.
Yeah, I'm like,
Your eyes.
drift car. Brup, brup, brup.
It's lovely, that.
Big
isn't it?
lock.
Does the
I think last time when I cut it, we were guessing by the middle of this, but obviously this doesn't sit square by the time we've opened that big. A little bit bigger?
Yeah, son. Do you know what I have noticed?
What?
Have you noticed where you put those tabs to weld this on?
Oh no. Forgot about the door bars, yeah.
So I just remake one of the bars.
Is it exactly where it needs to go?
It's like the door bar you can see on that side. The door bar sits on top of it, so it would hit. You might be able to sand the top of the mount off a little bit,
Okay.
but obviously
And
the door bar goes down, doesn't it?
yeah. Okay. So we just discovered a little failure there. I thought I was doing a really good job and made these nice mounts for the dash. Totally oblivious to the fact there's a door bar going right there that Rob's made, so should just leave it to Rob really. I have tripped over these things, almost broke my knee so many times, but they are coming off. Oh, much better. Look, we're improving in the workshop. It's a workshop improvement video now.
They're going to be bent pieces.
We now have to consider those. Now we're going to realise we want it higher, aren't we? We don't change them very often, but
No, but you won't be able to drop it out, will you? Because it have to come up because your plates are bolted on the
Yeah,
bottom
yeah,
and the bars go across. So they don't spread out, so you'd have to,
yeah.
it's going to be a pain in the
Those jobs that seem so easy, there's always something
What goes
you've
on there?
forgotten.
How big are the bits that go on there?
They're not very big, so they have like the banjo bolt thing, so they only go like that. If we can get it so it sits like that, so they
Nothing go on there?
big banjo fittings,
Oh,
so they can go out sideways.
yeah.
As long as it can go like that, so this is lower, they can pull out, and that's fine, and that will, I think, work pretty well. So that ends up setting up like that, which is pretty perfect. Right, so now we've got the steering column in place. Just a nice simple little bracket here with a hole in the middle. So you've got the height adjustment. It's only tack welded at the moment, but that's pretty much done. That just needs welding. So now to the more complicated task is fitting the pedal box. So this is a hanging pedal box. So the pedals come from the top. There's two different types you can use when you put it in a race car. Essentially one like this or one that directly bolts to the floor. So the bolt to the floor option is much easier because it literally all comes pre-made. You just drill 2 holes, maybe you have to make a mount. The downside is that it doesn't feel as natural with having the accelerator going down. Most like a factory cars will have it swinging, but it's mostly the brake, and for me it's the clutch feeling. The clutch on a floor mounted pedal just feels wrong because you're kind of pushing down rather than like pushing forward. So for me that's a no-go. But what I would say, if you're building like your drift car, it is far easier just to keep the stock stuff. If you can get away with doing that, that is by far the best way. But if not, go for one of these. It's a little bit harder to mount, but it's so much worth it. We're using the tilt and pedal system. So this is a clutch and a brake pedal. We'll put the throttle. You can buy them with a throttle pedal built in, but it's easier for us to use a different one. That has adjustment up and down. You can adjust the angle of the plates, the foot plates. And then you normally have a master cylinder here as well. One for your front brakes, one for your back brakes. It comes with a bias bar built in, so essentially you just twist that and that'll adjust your brakes. So on the drift car, you'd have a lot more going to the front brakes, because if you have too much brakes on the back, if you're left foot braking, you're just going to overheat the rear brakes and just sap a load of power. So yeah, now we've made these little brackets that we're then going to weld to. Rob's going to find some bar, and we're going to weld some bar from this bar onto the firewall, and that'll give us something to mount to. So the main thing is it has to be pretty sturdy, because obviously you're pushing pretty hard on the brakes.
Bastard. Nice little angle on her, and she'll be lovely.
You can talk whilst you're welding on this rather than explain what you're doing.
Yeah. Like, he can multitask.
I'm a man. It's like women can't drive, I can't multitask.
Look at that.
So what I'm doing now is I'm pressing down on the pedal, and then it is sending out a bit of gas, and then some welding is happening.
That is, you know what? If I've ever heard my voice, that was it. Sound like Squidward.
Then we put another tack in here. Oh, it's going lovely. Lovely, this Volvo is so fine to weld to.
It is, it's very thick actually, it's quite nice. Tell you what isn't nice, this bloody welding helmet. 386.
So that one will probably be more straight, and that one will be a bit of an angle, doesn't it? So this one. So it's like that. 65 on the front, and on the back, 55. Well, yeah, they should be roughly the same, shouldn't they? Yeah. Let's do two that are 55, 65. And the length of that. Yeah. I'll show you my little trick. I've got a trick to make them the same.
Hold them together, then grind them down.
Exactly. Yeah. Right, so those of you guys that have joined us from the last video, you'll know that we cut the end off the Volvo and we did a competition where you could win a Sonax car care kit. Right, so that's kilos all in, and that's with the boot, the roof and the sides and the boot floor. Now the competition was to guess how much did the body panels weigh that we cut off. So that was the roof section, the sides and the boot. And the total weight of that was 62 kilos. The winner, or the first person to guess that right, was Daniel Smeds. It's Daniel Smeds 7316 on YouTube. If you get in touch with your address, we will sort you out that prize. So one of the cool things about the Volvo is that everyone assumes that it weighs an absolute ton, but it actually, compared to, say, the Corvette, in factory form, it's actually lighter. The Volvo 740 Estate only weighs about 1,350 kilos, whereas a base model Corvette weighs about 1,450. So it's going to be pretty light this when we've got all the Kevlar panels. We think, like I actually think it might be possible that this could be lighter than the Corvette. So that's going to be really interesting to see. Cool, so end of day one, we're about to go. We're going to come back tomorrow to finish the welding. We got to the stage where we've got the bars that go from the dash bar to the wall. We had to put little reinforcement plates on the firewall because that's quite thin metal, so we've got nice little 3mm steel plates here. And then yeah, tomorrow we're going to then attach the pedal box just between here, and that should be us, ready to go. So we've got a deadline for the Volvo build. Exactly from today, we've got 128 days to get the car ready because we've been invited to the Goodwood Festival of Speed to go drifting up the hill. Now, if you've never been to Goodwood before, all I can say is you have to get it done. It's an amazing show and I'm super lucky to be there. It's got everything from old classics to modern supercars, every type of Formula One car, rally car, endurance car, touring cars, motorbikes. There's Jetpack Man normally, people doing donuts, us drifting. It's absolutely crazy. So I'm not sure who else is going to be driving yet, but that'll probably be released pretty soon. But all that matters for now is that we get this Volvo built. All right, day two, we're back at it, trying to make this steering column work with the car. So what we didn't have yesterday was a UJ for the steering rack itself. So we've got that, that's come all the way from Sweden, and we've got a shaft to go with that. Now, this has highlighted a bit of an issue, and what that basically is the angle of the UJ here, in line with that UJ, is extremely tight. Ideally, you want them opposite angles, very similar, because if you have one UJ with a small angle on it and one with a big angle, you could get a bit of like non-linear steering feel. So what we've got to do is move this bearing downwards a little bit, because if this was sat more like that, in that height, it's then going to have even angles. So back to the drawing board, and let's do it all again.
Are you happy there?
Well, it's kind of hard to know because it obviously off-puts where the thing's going to go a little bit. You're going to have to fill one hole, and then you're going to have to like knock it in a bit.
Ready?
Then we can drop the bearing in and see. Tacked?
Yep.
Right.
Oh, yep.
Right, so then we probably slide. Should be enough to just hold the bearing, we can slide it through.
It's hard to like pull it out.
Oh, it's because it's got that rubber bit on it.
Little old foreskin.
The little rubber foreskins bit. There we go. Who started a chainsaw when we're trying to film? What kind of production company is this? Yeah.
It's our race fuel, isn't it? That's how they test their fuel.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I think we're good there.
Doesn't look good from my house.
Do you want to weld that in?
I'll weld that in, yeah.
Or give it a good tack, whatever you want to do.
I reckon a good tack up, and then we can drill the holes. And
Yeah.
no one wants to watch someone welding for
Problem solved.
20
minutes,
solved.
do they?
Nothing a bit of cutting and grinding can't solve.
Wasn't funny at the time.
How bad?
The side doors open on the van because the dogs are in it, and the back doors are open. I went to get in the front to get my lunch.
Oh dear.
I did. Cut a hole in the bulkhead. Just cut a square hole in the bulkhead.
Yeah, I guess you can always fill it back
I'm
up.
gonna put a window in it, I think. You got anything smaller that's rubber?
Rubber?
Yeah.
What do you mean, to push or to?
Yeah, to push on it, yeah. It might burn a little bit, but right, mind your eyes. I should do for now.
This is a rubbish drill bit. I don't know, actually, maybe I'll go straight.
Give me that and I'll sharpen it.
Oh, you sharpen this one, I'll send it in this bigger one. Oh, that one worked. Right,
I'll do it for them.
probably wants to get a little bit lower now, but nice. Yeah, I'll probably move the seat or the steering wheel slightly closer with the spacer. Lovely. So we've moved that firewall bearing down slightly, and that's given us a better angle on the steering rack, and by dropping the steering column at the top, we're still at, yeah, like a really nice steering wheel position. So yeah, pretty happy with that. So now we can do the pedal box.
Now what happened is, I've awkwardly made the roll cage already, and you thought I'm going to mount them there, it's a better place to mount them.
Yeah,
So now I've got to change the roll cage bits.
Yeah, well, I to be honest, I was thinking that we got NASCAR door bars like on the Corvette.
You can't.
So I mounted it in exactly the same way, thinking I was being an absolute hero, and then it was wrong.
Do you want to, while we're here, tack them to the pedal box, and then you should just be able to lift the pedal box up to the bars?
Should we just work out which?
Were they different? Were they slightly
should be-
different, or are they the same?
No, they're the same. So it must be that angle on the pedal box because it slopes. The bars slope
Yeah.
down slightly. Seems like that one's a lot higher than that one. That is going to be a bit tight on that one, I feel. Can you go back a little bit? Quick update.
Deflated.
On trend with this episode is Axel tries to do something to speed things up, and then we have to do it again. So that's what's happening today. And Rob has made new ones.
No, Harry's made new ones.
Sorry, Harry's made new ones. We're going to see if
So what's been the problem?
these go on here, and they weren't tall enough. Bad measuring.
So this
Measure.
would have hit the dash bar basically, so you need to drop the pedal box further down.
Right.
Measure once, cut twice is my motto, and we're living up to that today. Go
About
back.
right with a thumb gap.
Yeah.
Or do you want it higher up?
It's going to have to go further back though, if it's like that. So we're trying to work out what's the comfy driving position, which is quite hard because it's you're kind of like holding it in place, guessing a little bit. But it felt like the clutch was too far over to the left. Slide the pedal box over to the right, it starts, the master cylinders start hitting on stuff, so we've now moved the pedal plates over to the right.
See what happens.
See what happens.
Still seems far over to me, mate.
I can also do that, and then it's steering is slightly off, but
Yeah.
I mean, they're not. Do you want to line that one up like that and try? Yeah. So we've got the plate, got the pedal box kind of in place. The mounts were slightly off, so it was leaning a little bit. So we want to get it right, so it feels good and it also looks good as well. Is that it in the right place? Actually, no, that's pretty perfect.
That was.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's just go for that. Hopefully that's... No, you've said sure, I have to try again. Brum, brum, brum. Louis, behind the camera, who doesn't drive the car, thinks it's all right. What do you think?
Right, if I tap the back quick.
That looks straight, at least. So that solved the problem we had before. Well, the other thing I could do on the brake. Well, if you tack it...
Look good that way?
Yeah, that way it looks really good, yeah. And is it kind of level? Does that look level there? Well, it doesn't really matter if that's level or not, but...
What are you thinking?
I think this is extremely hard to visualise how it should feel when it's all together, but we're pretty much there, I think. Yeah. What I was maybe going to do is just put that one, because tonight I haven't got a third cylinder to keep the brake pedal right. Obviously you've got adjustment on these as well, like how much you screw them in makes quite a big difference. You can bring it further back or further forward, so you've got quite a lot of adjustment. I think it'll be alright. I'd say just get it stuck like that, yeah.
Tack it a bit better.
Yeah, tack it in a bit better. This is
What's welding?
welding these little nut steel things on.
Well, first off, weld that one first because that nut's on a wonk.
Is it?
That bolt's on a wonk, sorry. It's going to be insane. I'm well excited for this.
This is going to be bad.
You sure about this?
No, there's a big thing in the way. It was
Everything's stuck. The wire, the tungsten. Can we weld that on there?
No.
He's not accepting defeat today.
I've lined myself up for humiliation now.
Still wants to do it as well. That's the best part.
Tell you what, this would make this a lot easier
What's that?
if I nutted it so at least it sits
Yeah.
flat. Do you reckon I can do it?
You think that's going to make it easier?
Yes, yes it is. This is some extreme pressure, having Rob watch me try to do this, and the camera
I'd
pointing.
worry more about them.
Get annihilated in the comments. hold in.
Too much wire too early.
Was it what it
Yeah,
was?
you put wires in there way too early.
Okay, I'll try again on this one.
Let the metal turn into moltenness.
It's better.
There you go.
Right, now spin it around, do the other side.
You're not just leaving that tacked, yeah?
No, I'm going to do the other side as well.
Are you going to weld it though? Or are you just leaving it tacked?
Tack it.
There you go. Brand new.
Oh yeah. Well, that's probably welded. That's not cracking, is it?
No, that's staying on there.
Cool.
That's much better.
Well, that's me out of a job.
See you later, Rob. Actually, it was quite good.
That's not bad, that.
To be fair, that's the first time anyone's actually given me a pointer.
What, on how to weld?
Yeah.
Everyone does that. Everyone's like, oh, quick, get the wire
You
in
put
there.
it on, you're like, gotta get it quick.
Looks like a race car from where I'm sat.
It does, doesn't it? Last bit of the controls is the throttle pedal. So, actually, we've just got to figure out how that goes. Actually, it almost just goes. Yeah, so the last bit is the throttle pedal. We're using a 350Z or 350Z throttle pedal, just because it's readily available, it's cheap and it works pretty well. Yeah, that just needs mounting somehow, roughly like that. Do you reckon, Rob? What was that?
That was your bar. A bit of bar rolling down the side of the Volvo.
Right, so we've got everything now in place. We've got the pedal box and the steering column and the steering wheel's in place. So now all that's left really is for Rob to come and finalize all the welding. It's all tacked into place now, but he's going to come back and spend time doing that another day. The last thing that we need to do is we still need to touch the throttle pedal, but he's going to do that on Thursday. And then the last thing we've got then for the last of the controls is the handbrake. So this is a really important part of a drift car, as you probably already know. That will allow us to lock the rear wheels up. But we can't mount that yet because we're not entirely sure if we're going to have to modify the tunnel or not. And a handbrake will get on the tunnel somewhere like this. But we're not exactly sure whether gear stick's going to come out and if we're going to need to have a taller tunnel. So that'll be done at a later stage after we've got the engine. And I've got some exciting news. I have finally, after battling through customs, got confirmation that the engine is getting delivered tomorrow. So that's probably the most exciting part. So that means that next episode, we will be fitting a rotary engine to this Volvo. That's a wrap for this video. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Really appreciate all the feedback. And yeah, see you on the next one. It's going to be an absolute banger.